Great to be back on your screens again every Sunday from 7 o'clock p.m. This is Sports 101, and this is our regular Sunday sports review show where we review all the sporting activities that has taken place in the course of the week. And as usual, the usual suspects are here for the new season. Kofi,
Yeah,
we're back again.
and we back for the new season. It's already pumped up a lot of action, and it promises to be even bigger. And so I would implore everybody to tune in, hop in, tell a friend to tell a friend, just tune in, and let's do this together. It's been a wonderful weekend this
Yeah,
far.
wonderful weekend in sports. I mean, I know where Kofi is coming from, and I'm sure guys you know where Kofi is coming from. But I mean, we're going to be as interesting. It's going to be entertaining. It's going to be objective. And you're wondering who this empty chair belongs to. It belongs to Percy. We know the reason why we kept it empty. You know, Percy predicted that United were going to win the league. So probably this is the seat where we're going to find out if the title is going to be placed there. But you see Percy very soon. But guys, lots of happening in the world of sports. So quickly, if you are new to the channel and if you've not subscribed, or if you are old to us, this channel, but you've not subscribed, make sure you subscribe to Sports 101. Click the subscription button. Make sure you get all the updates anytime we come live or anytime we post a video. This is our Sunday sport review show. And don't forget, we are also live on Manutd FM. We will engage you in the comment section. So whilst the show is ongoing, make sure you join us with your comment. I'm going to read all your comment. But today, the show will literally be dedicated towards Manchester United. We're going to spend exclusive or extensive time talking about Manchester United. Is it time to press the panic button, or, I mean, we are making a mountain out of an anthill? It's just 2 games into the season and there's nothing to be worried about. But before we get into the discussion, let me take you around the world, a quick trip around the world, and maybe Kofi would have his take on some of the issues. So the Women's World Cup just ended today. I mean, the game took place in the morning between Spain and England, and Spain pipped the Lionesses by 1-0. So Spain lifting their first ever Women's World Cup trophy. England left again with probably eggs on their faces. Another final, another disappointment. But the amazing thing is that this Spanish team, 15 months ago, the entire team was in turmoil. The players wanted the coach to resign. They didn't want to play. 15 months on, this same coach leads the team to lift the trophy. Then also, in the Spanish league has started. It started last week. The Italian league started this week. Lots of engagement in the Italian league. Napoli kicked off from where they left off last season, beating Frazioni by 3-1. Inter Milan beating Monza by 2-0. Brace coming from Lautaro Martinez. As well, in the Spanish La Liga last week, Real Madrid, people think that Real Madrid are not going to perform well because they've lost some few players. But I see this Real Madrid side, and maybe we may spend time and talk about Jude Bellingham, Kofi's guy. Kofi is in love with that guy. Jude Bellingham has been brilliant from his first game through to yesterday. He was amazing. The first game, they beat Bilbao by 2-0. Yesterday, they came back from a goal down to beat Almeria by 1-0. I'll switch to Kofi, then we'll... By 3-1, yeah, they came from a goals down. I'll switch to Kofi. You have his take on the La Liga and Real Madrid. Then I'll come back to do a 2-minute round trip on some of the tidbits happening in the world of sports. So Kofi, Real Madrid. I mean, personally, I still tip Barcelona because I feel that Barcelona have their team intact. One of the reasons why I do not tip Real Madrid to win the league is because I feel you do not lose somebody who gives you 40+ goals a season and recover without replacing him and recover by going ahead to win the league. But they've had a blistering start. They've played 2 away games. They went away to Bilbao, beating them at the San Mamés Stadium, beating them 2-0. Yesterday they traveled to Almeria, beat them by 3-1. And one name has been on the lips of many Real Madrid fans and the lips of football lovers, Jude Bellingham. For me, I'm so sad that none of the English top clubs, was able to get this guy, because I would have loved to see him in England, but he's fitted into this Real Madrid team seamlessly and he's blowing everybody away.
Well, I think that people are not paying attention to the happenings at Real Madrid. I shudder to disagree with you a bit strongly on the assertion to who takes the Spanish La Liga eventually. I think that yes, Barca could be defending champions, but I think that on the evidence of what we've seen, early days yet, on the evidence of what we've seen, I think that Real Madrid would offer a very strong opposition to whichever competition Barca does mount. I say this because if you look at this Real Madrid team, yes, there are star players in there, but Ancelotti is coaching them to play as a collective, not just focused on an individual who can get you 40 goals. Real Madrid has always been about the superstars. It's always been about who gets to be the poster boy. When Cristiano Ronaldo left, Karim Benzema stepped into his shoes and delivered expertly. In the last 5-6 years, it's been all about Karim Benzema. Then when Karim Benzema was about to leave Real Madrid, it was himself and his sidekick, Vinicius Jr. And then there was the emergence of another force in Rodrigo. Yeah. I think that the one thing that excites me about this Real Madrid team is their age and the ability they do carry. You look at this Real Madrid team, from Alaba to Tchouaméni to Jude Bellingham to Vinicius Jr. Yes, Joselu might be a bit old, but look at Rodrigo. Look at all of the guys who are making it happen for Real Madrid. Absolutely impressive. And I shudder to think what could happen when they get to reach their fullest potential. I look at somebody like Jude Bellingham, 21 years, walks to the biggest club in the world, and then in 2 games, in 2 La Liga games, scores 3 goals. I think that this is how you settle as a big name player. You understand? I mean, people have spoken about the fact that sometimes when you sign people for too much of money, they carry that price tag along. You understand? So there's a burden on them to perform. But I think that the surest way to settle down and perform is what Jude Bellingham has done so far in his start to life at Real Madrid. He settled down beautifully. He's scoring goals. Yes, we have not known him to be somebody who scores a lot of goals. You understand? Yes, occasionally he does score a lot of goals, but Jude Bellingham has settled in very beautifully, scoring goals, has showed that he's a leader in that dressing room. You know, I've always told people in private that you want to succeed at Real Madrid, it's about character even more than how do I say it? It's about character even more than ability.
Yeah.
Real Madrid is all about the character. It's about who gets to fit in that dressing room. It's about who gets to be that star player. It's about who gets to understand the traditions of the club and the importance of the platform they do play on. And I think that Jude Bellingham has embraced life beautifully with Real Madrid, and I can only see a bright future for him. He's 21 years. The best part of his game is yet to come. When he does grow, logically, you would expect that he will unlock some more abilities. His ability to read the game better, his ability to be more decisive at the most crucial moments in games. He will definitely become a better player. And I think that Real Madrid at this material time have their money's worth, the purchase they have made with Jude Bellingham. I also shudder to think that you throw in Mbappe to this whole equation. Amazing.
This season or next season?
Whichever season it is. Amazing. If it's next season, the better, because the players there would have grown a bit older. They would have grown in stature. They would have grown in experience. And then you put in a world beater like Kylian Mbappe. You look at his age. You look at the configuration of the Real Madrid team. You look at everything happening. I think that when you throw in Mbappe into that mix, they'll go ahead and create a dynasty.
So exciting times for Real Madrid, exciting times in the La Liga, but I still believe that Madrid at some point will struggle. For me, I want to believe that this is early days yet, basically because I insist what happened to Bayern Munich, we are likely to see that happening at Real Madrid this season if they do not replace Karim Benzema. We know what happened to Bayern Munich when Robert Lewandowski left. It took them till now. They are struggling and they've struggled over the years to replace the goals that Robert Lewandowski gave them. Thank God they have, Harry Kane in their fold. It's actually one of the reasons why they actually broke their club record, went all the way to break their club record. Bayern Munich do not sign players for over 100 million pounds and those kind of 100 million euros. They don't do that. But they needed to replace the goal because they knew the effect it had on the team. And we know the kind of suffering that the team went through in terms of attacking wise. Real Madrid do not have that guy who's going to give them 30 plus goals, not even just assists alone, but Karim Benzema will give you 40 plus goals and assists just in the league. Rodrigo will not do that. Vinicius will not do that. These guys are more of creators, more of players who want to work the ball to somebody who would score. Yes, Rodrigo once in a while will chip in those goals, but let's see what happens. I do not think Mbappe will join them this season because yesterday Mbappe joined the PSG team and he scored a goal. So
and I would love to talk about PSG one of these days. I honestly think that PSG is a failed project. We sat on this show and talked about PSG a couple of times, and I think that they've gotten the whole principles wrong. They've gotten the whole theory or the whole concept about building teams around individuals and building teams and letting certain players be prima donnas in the dressing room, letting certain players feel bigger than they actually are.
I think Kylian Mbappe.
Well, I think that they've created a monster in Kylian Mbappe and it's come back to haunt them. Now, news settling in suggests that there was a furious bust-up between Kylian Mbappe and the PSG president. You understand? Okay. Al Khalifa. There was a furious bust-up. It is alleged that in that bust-up, Al Khalifa said he won't play football again. You understand? And Kylian Mbappe retorted that, who are you to tell me I can't play football again? It's a certain, if you look at the effect of Kylian Mbappe on the team, yes, I hear the PSG want to sign Kolo Muani. Yeah. But the point
is almost...
Yes, I mean, there is a Kitty in that squad. You understand? He's a young striker. But the point is that as beautiful as this PSG project looks on paper, as good as Luis Enrique is a coach, they will struggle to score goals if they do not have that center man at the center of affairs. You looked at the Mbappe effect yesterday, came off the bench, got a goal. Proud to him coming into the game, they labored. I mean, they played all the beautiful football, but labored in front of goal. Kylian Mbappe comes in, shows his class, gets that goal in there. Eventually, they had to draw that match, but I think that PSG are definitely going to miss Kylian Mbappe, and it's a failed project.
So we're not going to spend so much time talking about Kylian Mbappe, PSG, and all of that. We know. Before we did the preview show, Percy went on United, this. But I would take Kofi's thoughts on what is happening at Manchester United because honestly, 2 games into the Premier League, and if you're a United fan and you are satisfied with the performance of United, then I think that you really, really, really probably is not watching Manchester United carefully. But these are the results that took place yesterday in the English Premier League. The early game kickoff, Liverpool beating Bournemouth by 3 goals to 1. Goals from Luis Diaz, Mo Salah, and Diego Jota. Then Fulham lost at home to Brentford by 3 goals to 0. Luton Town facing off Burnley was postponed. Wolves lost at home to Brighton. If you watch that game, brilliant display from Roberto De Zerbi's men. And this is a famous quote by Roberto De Zerbi: "You can take our players, but you cannot take our spirit and our soul." Literally trying to say that the style makes the players do not make the style. So you can buy all their players, but who Brighton is and how they play, you need to probably come and buy the entire Brighton setup before you can get the players to deliver as you want them to be. They went all the way to beat Wolves. That was very impressive against Manchester United by 4 goals to 1. Manchester United traveled to the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium, a stadium they've not lost since 2018. The last time they played there was last year, and it was a 2-2 draw. But this time, Spurs beat United by 2 goals to 0. We're going to center our discussion on Manchester United. What is wrong? Are we pressing the panic button, or there's really something to discuss about Manchester United's performance? Manchester City, after their UEFA Cup triumph, beat Newcastle, a game that a lot of people thought that if there was a better time to play Manchester City, it is now, because they have players that are on the injury bed. They've come back from a long journey, from Greece. They are tired. Pep Guardiola complained, wondering why they didn't play their game on Monday or on Sunday. But Newcastle could not, beat Manchester City. They labored, but City pipped them to a lone goal. In the Spanish La Liga, Real Sociedad drew 1-1 with Celta Vigo. Like I said earlier on, Real Madrid beat Almeria by 3 goals to 1 away. Athletic Club Bilbao also beat Osasuna away by 2 goals to 0. In the Italian Serie A, Hellas Verona beat Empoli by 1 goal to 0. Falcioni at home lost to Napoli. Osimhen is back on the score sheet again, scoring a brace there. Ginora lost to Fiorentina by 4 goals to 1. Inter, again, as I said, beat Monza by 2 goals to 0. Today, in the Italian Serie A, Juventus away are beating Udinese 2 goals to 0. That's 35 minutes into the game. West Ham United beat Chelsea by 3 goals to 1. Some people may say against the run of play, because on the evidence of play, I think Chelsea were very impressive. But I heard someone saying it was just more of huffing and puffing, but very little cutting edge. West Ham United beating Chelsea by 3 goals to 1. Aston Villa earlier on beat Everton by 4 goals to 0. After losing 5-1 to Newcastle, they demolished this Everton side. I predicted that Everton will go on relegation. I still hold on to that prediction. I think this season they will end up being relegated. In the Spanish La Liga, Barcelona just scored an 89-minute goal against Cadiz. They are leading Cadiz by 1 goal to 0. We are in the 90th minute. Ginora beat Getafe by 3 goals to 0. So on the table this evening, guys, and if you're watching us, this is our live show. It comes off every Sunday 7 p.m. and we are live on Tardy FM. So we want to engage you in the comment section. You've seen Manchester United in their first game against Wolves. They labored to beat Wolves by 1 goal to 0. Yesterday against Tottenham Hotspurs, they lost by 2 goals to 0. And it's the performance in the second half that a lot of people are concerned about. They've picked out certain players. Some have even come at the coach, how he set the team up. Lots of discussion around Manchester United. So the question is, are we pressing the panic button? Is it too early to really worry about what we've seen about Manchester United in the 2 games they've played? Or really, there is something there to discuss? I would have my take on Manchester United and what is happening. But join us in the comment section with your comments, and I'll read out the comment as the show goes on. But I'll come to Kofi. Kofi, we saw United in the first game against Wolves. Personally, I think football came to play. Sometimes football is very cruel. If you watch that game, Wolves did everything but just putting the ball at the back of the net. They failed to do that. Acuna from Brazil was brilliant. I mean, Wolves played very well. But United show that sometimes it's not so much about playing very well. You pick your moment, and one Bissaka, that cross, Varane, that header, United going home to win that game by a goal to 0. Then yesterday we saw another performance from United. I think that the first half was very, very good. The two teams matched each other very well. United created lots of chances, Spurs likewise. But my worry was the second half, the performance from Manchester United from the second half. I will come to you. The question holds. Are we pressing the panic button too early, or really there's something to worry about? Those that are worried about United.
Well, I think that most football fans are fickle-minded, and I'll be brutally honest. I think that people are fickle. They always want to press the panic button. I do not think that United ought to press the panic button now. Yes, I acknowledge that it's been two terrible games played, but if you want to juxtapose this with events of last season, 2 games into the league last season, United had 0 points, had a negative goal difference. You understand? So, in terms of progress, in terms of matching this season and last season's results, you'd realize that at this moment in time, if you would compare it to last season, United are actually ahead in terms of getting points on the board. You understand? So
is it so much about the points or the performance?
if you want to win the league, it's about the points. It's nothing to do with the performance.
Is that not a correlation?
You don't need to be the best team to win the league. I've always stated that. You don't need to beat all teams to win the league. I think that the most important thing is getting your points on the board and getting those points early, and then getting to work early, killing off games early. I think that you look at yesterday's game, and you would want to look at the results that United had to get in the opening fixture. Against Wolves, it was a terrible display. There was a lack of cohesion in the middle. I'll go ahead and analyze some of the issues that I think that are really at the forefront when it comes to Manchester United. I think that against Wolves, United were all over the place. They did not look like a team that was compact. They did not look like a team that are trained together. They looked more of individual parts than a collective unit. And I think that yesterday also, you watched the game very well. You talked about the fact that they were able to deal with Tottenham in the first half. You know, and that the new coach of Tottenham, what they have tried to do is to play a new. I wouldn't dare mention that name. What they have tried to do is to create a new brand of football. That brand is simple. It looks like everybody is virtually picking a leaf out of everybody's book. You understand? They play with invented fullbacks.
Picking a leaf from Pep Guardiola's books.
I don't want to go there. I don't know. They play with invented fullbacks. So you realize that in the first half, United dealt very well with the invented fullbacks of Tottenham. In the second half, they did not do that. And once they did not do that, what it did was simple. The fullbacks, we've spoken about, if you've watched the show for 1,001 times, we've spoken about the fact that when you do not deal with those fullbacks, they create an avalanche of bodies in the center of the park. So there is a lot of overload in the center of the park. And you realize that in the second half, Spurs were virtually running United riot in the middle, because United failed to do with the invented fullbacks, who eventually became extra bodies in that midfield. So that was the first problem.
Is that not where, you can add that to your subject? Is that not where the coach needs to take responsibility?
Well,
I think that I listened to Ten Hag's interview in the first game, because what I saw happen with or to United in the first game is what happened in the second half to United again. The first game, he tried to, find an excuse. Yesterday, his post-match conference, literally again, trying to find an excuse. I don't know where the coach needs to take the form.
Well, I think that
he did something brilliant in the first half. Why change?
Well, I think that there are 4 issues bothering United. But back to the coach and the comments that he passed, I think that he doesn't want to throw the players under the bus at this point in time, because a lot of the players, in my candid opinion, deserves to be thrown under the bus. You look at Manchester United yesterday, and I insist that those were again fine margins. You understand? If you look at the first half, I will not sit here and talk about refereeing decisions, but I mean, come on, 9 out of 10, that ball should have been a penalty.
United complaining about
exactly
United complaining about refereeing decisions.
Exactly
when they did same to Wolves.
Lucky, let's not overdwell on this. That's why I'm telling you that I'm not going to overstate it. But 9 out of 10, United gets a penalty. It could change the complexion of the game. Then you look at that pass from Luke Shaw to the captain Bruno Fernandes. 9 out of 10, Bruno Fernandes gets that goal, because I believe that in games, I think that in games like these, it's about the moment, it's about getting ahead, it's about picking confidence. But there are 4 things wrong with Manchester United at this material time. The first thing that is wrong with Manchester United is that they need to sort out their attacking threat. The number 9, that's number 9 role. Listen, Rashford is a fantastic player. No, he'll come back very soon. That's why I'm telling you that United needs to sort out that number 9 issue, because I think that on the basis of trend analysis, on the basis of what we've seen, somebody like Anthony Martial, who I think is a better number 9 than Rashford, on the basis of games we've seen him play against Tottenham, United would have been best suited if they played Anthony Martial through the middle, because you realize that in the last 15 minutes when he came on, the dynamics up front and the trouble he caused to those central defenders of Tottenham were much even more evident than what Rashford did for 60, 70 plus minutes playing as a number 9. So that's the first error there. I think that he should have played, once the guy is fit, playing through the middle. Okay. And Garnacho, fine player, but I still think he's not come to grasp to the realities of playing first team football, 90 minutes football. I still think that sense of judgment, I still think that ability to grasp fully everything that is around him and to make use of the time on the pitch, I still think he's not come to terms with it. So I would rather Ten Hag pushes Rashford to the left, push Garnacho back to the bench, because he's proving time without number that he's a better impact substitute. You understand? And this one subject I didn't want to talk about, but at this material time, I would want to give you a stone. Anthony, what a waste of everybody's time. Oh my God! And Percy is here. I don't know why he smiled.
Okay, Percy, come and have your seat. But when Kofi is done, I'll have my take. Then you have your take on United. Then we will look at some of the personnel, because we don't have much time. But finish up on.
Honestly,
on
I think that nothing convinces me that Anthony should be playing for Manchester United at this material time.
Give my stone.
Yeah, I give you a stone.
Yeah,
I think that I think that at this material time, the guy is a waste of space. Engages.
Don't you agree that Kudus in this United team can play?
Well, I don't think Kudus plays on the right wing, so I think that I don't want to engage in needless arguments. You understand? I think that one of the reasons why I weep for all of this furor regarding Mason Greenwood and his coming back, I think that Greenwood would have easily solved that number 7
Pause
position.
on the Greenwood, because we are going to conclude. I'm hearing news that
there will be a press conference tomorrow.
Yes, and there are other elements in the United setup that are actually against his character. So we'll wrap up with the Greenwood, whether he should come up. That will probably be a conclusive debate, whether he should come out or not. So you finish up on, you've enumerated 2 problems. You said 4.
Yes, so I've stated 3. So
3, yeah, the last one.
So I think that Anthony is a problem. I mean, get him out of the team. Just get him out of the guy. Can dribble. He doesn't have that sense of judgment. I struggle to find one thing that Anthony does right at this material time. I think that Ten Hag needs to be bold. He does not need to commit the sins of Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. He does not need to let favoritism come into his team selection. Pelistri, if Sancho does not prove to be somebody who wants to develop, take his game to the next level, please play Pelistri. And I think that, yes, I agree that Mason Mount is a fantastic, talented, technical player. I think that he'll come good eventually. Lucky, I saw we had decided to shelve all of those shenanigans. I mean, I think that he will be a better player for Manchester United in the nearest future. But at this material time, his selection in this team brings a lot of confusion in that midfield because he is not adept to playing in the role that he's been assigned to. He's supposed to be the sidekick of Casemiro at the base of that midfield. And because he's not played there all throughout his career, there is a lot of confusion. And that's one of the reasons why it seems that the United midfield is being run over and over again, because there is a confusion in the roles that every one of them has to play. Casemiro and Mount, sometimes he does not know whether to fall back or to join in the attack. So I think that to steady the ship, go with that midfield trio that you went with all throughout last season. Play the Eriksen, play the Casemiro, play the Bruno Fernandes axis, steady the ship, and then you can bring in the new entrants.
So Kofi has, enumerated his problems about this United team. He feels that there are 4 issues. He's identified them, but I'll lump them up and say there are 2 issues. One, United issue is one technical and tactical. Technical in the sense that, and that's where I will agree with Kofi, some of the players that United have, for me, do not have the right to call themselves Manchester United players. I think that we shouldn't mince words. And I'll start off from Mason Mount. I think we had a show where I posed this question, and I'll pose this question again. What is Mason Mount's skill set? Because I could talk about the skill set of Casemiro. I could talk about the skill set of Bruno Fernandes. I could talk about the skill set of Jordan Henderson. Jordan Henderson is one of those few players in the Liverpool team or in the Premier League that can give a 50 to 60 yard pass with ease. When it comes to long passes, very few players can do that well like Jordan Henderson does. If he does not do anything in football, that is one of his skill set. You could talk about Ward-Prowse, the guy who's just joined Southampton, joined West Ham from Southampton. If he doesn't do anything in the game, when he puts that ball, the dead ball, his crosses, what is actually Mason Mount's skill set? That one thing. Because for a player who was bought for £60 million, I've watched Mason Mount from Chelsea through to his time. Yes, he was Chelsea's best player 2 seasons or a couple of seasons ago. But in the land of the blind, the one-eyed man will be king. It does not mean that the guy who is one-eyed is the best to lead 2-eyed people. And that is the mistake with Ten Hag. And I've watched Ten Hag. He's gotten most of his signings wrong. I do not know what goes into the decision to sign players. And that is where I think Ten Hag should also take the blame with what is happening at with this Manchester United team. Where is Malacia?
He's injured.
But even when Malacia was not injured, he was not playing. And when he plays, he's not good enough. Because the impression I got was that he's going to compete with Luke Shaw. At least give him that competition that when Malacia plays, if Luke Shaw is injured or if Luke Shaw has to deputize for maybe Varane or Alessandro Martinez, when Malacia plays at the left back, you will see some quality. But anytime he's playing, I don't see any quality. He's just like the average left back we have in the Premier League. He got it wrong with Malacia. Kofi has, I will not even say it, Kofi has admitted that he got it wrong with Anthony.
He has gotten it wrong.
Well, yes, thank you.
I mean, got it wrong seems.
Seems a bit. He's gotten it wrong with Anthony because for 2 seasons, the guy has not shown any sign that I'm going to get better. It's the same old, once in a while. He gives you that wow moment, thinking that, okay, this guy will come good. But consistently, he's disappointed. I'll not mention Casemiro and Varane because we know what Casemiro will give you. We know what Varane will give you. He has not added any value to Casemiro and Varane. They are doing what we know them to do. But okay, well, that's good. He didn't even sign Varane. But at least he signed Casemiro. We know he's not added any value to him because what I feel, yes, that's what I'm saying, that the only player who has proven that his money is worth it is Lisandro Martinez. You do not sign about 4 or 5 players, and out of that you get just one right. I think that you should question what goes into you signing players. And this morning or this afternoon, I was reading that they want Onana. I don't know what his fixation with players called Onana, the Everton midfielder. I don't know how true that is, but the Daily Mail reported that United are actually going to put in a bid in the course of the week for Onana if the Amrabat deal does not, go through. And I'm hearing that they need to also sell before they can actually bring in more players. But in terms of the technical abilities of the players, most of the players are not they are not getting better, and that's why I want to hold Ten Hag for it, because the importance or the value of a manager is you improve players. And Kofi, we all agree that the guy he's getting to his second season, full second season. So we should see some improvement.
Can I ask
let me, I'll end right now. Okay, you can ask.
Can I ask a simple question?
Yeah.
Do you remember some of the signings that Pep Guardiola made in Spurs
Yeah,
season?
I sure do remember some of the signings
Who
for
are they?
Guardiola. The goalkeeper for us, Claudio Bravo.
What happened
After
to
a
him?
season, he let him go.
Who again?
On top of my head.
Nolito. Who again?
He signed Nolito.
Yes.
Yes. After a season, he let him
Who?
go.
Who again?
How many?
So I think that you are being
But what
overly.
I'm saying is that
No, I
if you
think
look at,
no.
if you look
Hold
at
on,
Pep
hold on,
Guardiola,
hold on.
we will agree.
Hold
Kofi,
on.
Okay.
I think that you are being
Too harsh
overly
on Ten Hag.
overly critical.
No, the reason why
Because every manager gets this wrong.
Oh, I agree. But the reason why I want to be overly critical with Ten Hag is because, listen, Pep Guardiola has earned the right.
I don't get it. Don't shift
He's
the argument.
earned the right.
Don't shift
I'm
the
not
argument.
shifting
No,
the argument.
let's focus on the argument.
Yes.
Let's focus on the crux of the argument.
Let me finish my point. Let me
Do not
finish making my
shift
point.
the bar.
Let me finish making my
Please
point.
do not shift the bar.
If Pep Guardiola signs 10 players, we can be rest assured that out of the 10, he's going to get 7 right. And his track record has proven that. If he signs 10, he's going to get 7 right. Ten Hag has signed about 5 players. He's gotten about just 1 right. So if you do the statisticians, the mathematicians, between Pep Guardiola and Ten Hag, why would you even robe in, oh yes, because Pep, let's put that aside. Now, let me because we all know that some of the players are not cutting it. Technically as well, I think that Ten Hag is not getting it right. If you watch this United team, and I saw that in preseason, from the 70th minute, the team gets tired. I don't know if you've realized, especially in the middle of the park. Yesterday, I saw that with Bruno Fernandes. From the 70th minute, he was walking at pace, at walking pace. I saw that in the game against Wolves. In preseason, I saw that. So I asked myself, what is happening during training? You've had all this time with these players. What is happening that from the 70th unit, it looks like most of the United midfield players, they get tired. What kind of training is Ten Hag putting these players through? Again, Kofi spoke about his deployment of the players. And that is where I think that Ten Hag, you've had enough time, a year and over with this team, that you should know what quality each player brings on board and where to deploy each player. Marcus Rashford is not so great playing through the middle. We've seen it. He thrives playing on the left or on the right, cutting in and doing what he does best. Last season, he did that so well in most of the games that we saw. But why is this fixation with playing him through the middle? We are seeing Marcus Rashford not being effective in the last 2 games, and I fear, yes, it's too early, but I think that some of Ten Hag's tactical decisions have not helped Manchester United. Some may say that it is too early, but no, he's had a whole year with this team. He should know this team better. I am yet to see Ten Hag improve any of the players. Somebody should name 1 player apart from Lisandro Martinez that Ten Hag has improved. Some may mention Marcus Rashford. Fine. 11 players, and you can mention about just 2. What about Casemiro? Because honestly speaking, I think the age of Casemiro is catching up to him. In the first game against Wolves, the Wolves ran riot around him. He was lethargic. He was slow. He couldn't catch up. In yesterday's game too, what's the guy's name? Is it Mbisuma or Bisuma? Ivis Bisuma. And Sa, they were having a field day. Madison and Co were having a field day. I'm not going to talk much. I'm going to bring in Percy. But for me, I think it is time to press the panic button. Ten Hag should quickly find a proper DM that will play alongside Casemiro, because Casemiro is aging and he's struggling, because Mason Mount will not do that job. And for me, United have thrown away £60 million in acquiring Mason Mount. I don't know what Percy thinks. Too early to press the panic button, or we actually need to press the panic button?
For I think you guys have done justice to it. With Casemiro, I don't know if it is Ten Hag who has not defined Casemiro's role to him, because I think he's doing so many unnecessary things.
I agree.
You watch the game, if you watch the post-match analysis, almost every time, in fact, the first goal that came, by the time they crossed a ball in,
he was walking from.
He had entered the penalty box that he wanted to also have a bite on the header.
That's true.
So by the time the ball becomes rebound or there is a counter break, there is nobody there.
He struggles.
It's more like he is trying to do extra things other than the primary thing. And that is why I'm asking, is it that the coach has given him the free role to join attack? You see, last season, one of the reasons why he tried was that he was playing alongside Eriksen and Bruno. And it was a defined three-man midfield. You hardly saw him leave his defensive role, unless probably United was leading maybe 1 or 2 or United needed a goal badly. But this time round, like you said, you started a midfield that was almost throughout the whole season was the best for you.
Yeah.
Now you are making him play alone. You bring a Mount in who is not essential. I don't know the position of Mason Mount. I don't know.
But Kofi can't tell me his skill set. What is Mason Mount's greatest?
I just told you that I don't know his position. Because he is more like being deployed in almost everywhere from the midfield through to. He has even played a false number. I had Chelsea before.
Yeah.
So he's playing alongside Mason Mount, who will not stay and tackle. And he himself does not stay behind to do the simple. Versus Wolves, there was a ball that was, it seems, the 70th, 80th minute.
Yeah.
That counter that the guy went through and Onana had to save the ball. As at the time, the ball was another cross. And by the time the cross came through, this guy was in the penalty box waiting for a header. So by the time there was a counter break, there was no one. So for me, if it has to do with Casemiro, either they give him a defined role or they play a double pivot at his age. Like you said, you can't play him alone. When he was at Real Madrid's three-man midfield, there were two central midfielders. None of them was playing an attacking midfield role.
That's true.
They were both central midfielders. And he was so combative at the back such that it made Marcelo very productive going forward. So right now, you realize that against Tottenham, he's now 32. He's now 31. Now,
but you see, it's not about age necessarily.
Yes.
It's about this guy has been playing consistently for God knows
and
how.
One of the reasons why Marcelo was very good going forward was that the moment he leaves, Casemiro comes to the defensive midfield.
He's an African. 31 is his football.
But yesterday you realized that the position of Luke Shaw, that is where Kulusevski was.
Yeah.
That place was almost always vacant, especially in the second half.
That's true.
And Luke Shaw was very potent going on the attack, but who covers for him? Because Casemiro so it meant that Lisandro Martinez had to come to the left back and also as a left centre back, which was very tiring for him. So for me, either United decide to play a double pivot, two defensive midfielders.
Who? Because they've let go of Fred. The only proper DM. Eriksen is not a DM. I think that one thing we need to also define. The only DM in there is McTominay.
And I'm saying that last season.
Is that who you want to bank your
last
hopes
season?
You see,
and then last
banking
season,
your hopes on a kid who is not tried and tested in the league.
Well,
I think United would be risking it.
I think that we've gotten
let Percy finish, and we'll talk about how to fix it. Then maybe we could end with the.
We just have 10 minutes.
Yes, we could end with the Greenwood bit quickly.
So for me, I think everything, like you said, first of all, I don't know why when Kofi threw in the Pep Guardiola bit, you probably pushed it aside. But Pep Guardiola, in fact, he admitted after the first season that he has goofed.
Yeah.
Most of he mentioned Nolito. He brought in Nolito, and Nolito had to be shipped back. Look at, he had to be shipped back
After a season.
After a season, he brought in a ball-playing goalkeeper and sacked their keeper, who had been the number one for all the years he has been. That was a Joe Hart.
After a season.
And after a season, he also requested. I think it is about time that it's not necessarily a panic button. He should admit the fact that Charlie, he has goofed. The players, the signing. I think his affiliation with Ajax is also becoming because Malacia from Ajax,
Onana,
Anthony from Ajax, Onana from Ajax.
Malacia from PSV.
Sorry, let me say his
Fine.
affiliation
Fine,
with what do you call it?
Dutch.
The Dutch Eredivisie.
It's okay. He's familiar with the players.
He's familiar, I understand. But the best thing that I think would help him is to admit Yaseska with sports money, because he bought what do you call it, Bravo, for over 30 million.
Yeah.
And the amount they bought Nolito, that amount, and to let him go after just a season. Players like Ferran Torres, he came in and after a season he became redundant. He was let go. So I think he should accept. Most of the signings have been wrong, and it's good it has come just before the season ends, as in the transfer window ends. So the best thing for him to understand is that either he pushes Anthony to full-time coming off from the bench, or he gets a right winger, not necessarily that thing of a left, because Sancho was brought him to do that job, and he is not doing it. And we talk of issues of Pelistri. I think he should go back to his drawing board, because this United would not give you the field day to think that because you've been allowed to make so many decisions, allowing the year to go, to strip off your captain, allowing what you call Ronaldo to leave. So I think
He actually has the freedom.
he's
in terms
been
of
given
signings
everything.
and
So I
everything.
think he should prove the owners right for the reason and the power they've given him.
Okay, so I'll come back to Kofi, but let me take some comments. Lots of guys watching the show. Thanks so much, guys. We love you. We love you so much. Let me take some comment from those that have joined us. I hope I will be able to read all of this. So we're actually asking the question: is Caicedo worth the transfer fee that was paid for him? 67% says no. 33% say yes. The voting is actually still trickling in. Tally, I hope I can. Guys, thank you so much for NS Adaku says, for my Chelsea, we had our chances, we blew it, then gave a goal away, and a horror, start for Caicedo, but I know dude is good and he will come good. NS Adoko again says that Anthony and Modric, them between, so hey, a Kapani. PHS says Ten Hag is not a good coach with conviction. How do you sign Mount when you needed a striker? That's also another question that needs to be answered. Anthony NS Adoko again says that inverted fullback that now is every coach. Or let me actually put it well. Now that every coach wants to insect in their team is insane. Some teams aren't having the personnel for that system, but because Pep is doing it, everyone wants to do it. I think that is football. Football evolves. And our own Anthony Kofi says that United seem to funny me. You spent a whooping 100 million on because Anthony, the comments will not even allow me to read them. Lots of comment coming. 100 million on par grant roundabout. Yeah, Anthony Kofi again said that Sedu United had the chance to sign a centre for it, but went to buy an injured Hodgland. Lots of comment from Anthony Kofi, Ebenezer Tete. We love you guys. Big ups to you guys. Kofi, I'm struggling. I can't even read them. But guys, we love you so much. Thank you so much for your comment, and thank you for joining us for our first show this season. We are asking, should Manchester United bring Mason Mount back? I'll start from you, Percy, because you didn't have lots on it. Greenwood, should they bring him back? Because a lot of people have said that if Greenwood was in this team, one, he's more productive, he's very direct, and has an eye for a goal. Very clinical more than Anthony. And if Greenwood was in this team, Anthony wouldn't have been signed. But then again, Greenwood is not in this team. United would make their decision in the course of this week. Lots of the female, players from Manchester United female team have come out to express their misgivings. Even some of the staff of the United hierarchy. United is an entire institution, so there are some people who actually are not happy about it. Yes, the courts, legally, he's been found not guilty, but morally, some may say the fact that legally you are not guilty does not mean that of a truth. Society does not see you guilty, or he didn't actually do it, because when it comes to legal issues, I mean, we all know. Should United bring Mason Greenwood back quickly before we sign out?
I think
we have just 5 minutes.
Yes, in fact, the
Kofi
way we are treating this whole thing out of proportion, I think it's not the best, because one, the person in question and whoever the person did this to have resolved whatever is between them. They live together. They even have a baby, and they have decided to stay together. Now, this is not the first time something like this has happened to a big team.
That's true.
In the 1990s, there was the issue of Tony Adams and Arsenal. He had, in fact, a serious legal issue, and it had to do between Arsenal bringing him back and letting him go. But he took that serious decision and brought him in, and he was a legend. We had Cantona with what he did, that kung fu kick that he actually went to give in 1995. The reason why United actually lost, he was out for about 8 months.
But some may say that issue of sexual abuse and physical abuse,
I was coming to
especially to an opposite sex, is actually
I was
very
coming to it about issues that a club has been confronted with, either bringing the person in or
quickly
letting the person go.
Yeah.
For me, it is just if United wants to really on the pitch solve their issues, the matter of a few, because when you let the guy also not come in, you have players or people who also have issues with that. So whether you let him come or you let him go, you will still have issues.
So you feel United
So I
should bring
think the
him back.
majority, it is about what has happened. If the guy had been convicted and whatever was supposed to happen, probably we realized it was an issue and now he has probably gone to jail and has not been brought back, it is no problem. But this is the case that with whatever has happened has been dealt with, even with the person and the girlfriend. I don't want to go so much into it. United's problem,
They need a player like Greenwood.
Greenwood will solve about 40% of the problem.
Okay, Kofi, this is more of a moral issue. And guys, those of you watching us, you can put your comments there. Should United bring Greenwood back or they should let him go? Kofi, this is more of a moral issue. And we know society and moral issues. And it's more of an ethical issue. Legally, yes, he's been acquitted. But we know that the guy did what was accused of him. He did it. But when it comes to these illegal issues, more of what you can prove and what the court feel was right or was wrong. But of the truth, he did it. There was an abuse. There was all of those things that happened. But it was more of a moral issue. United have an obligation to society. That's why most issues have corporate social responsibilities. And for United, it's a big club. It used to be the most expensive and arguably the biggest club in the world. Take away Real Madrid. This is a very huge moral issue. That's the reason why United still feel we need to investigate it, even though he's been let go. What's your take on it quickly? Should United bring Mason Greenwood back?
Quickly, if this happened 20 years ago, we probably wouldn't be having this conversation.
That's true.
Because in that age, there was no social media.
Nobody even cares.
In that age, nobody would even care about some of the things that have been shared. In truth, I mean, you cannot sit here and vouch for everything that Greenwood did.
That's
I mean,
true.
that was barbaric.
They're
And
very-
then
not
for
right.
a club like Manchester United and what it stands for, I think that the reason why United are wanting to play it safe is that, first of all, they are a limited liability.
That's where I actually wanted you to go.
They are listed on the New York Stock Exchange.
See what happened to
And
Tiger Woods.
Exactly. So you would want to consult all of the major stakeholders. You would want to consult all of the major brokers when it comes to who has an effect on the club and all of that. I think that's one of the reasons. But the truth also is that United had planned to integrate Mason Greenwood into the team this week.
Okay.
And so I am hearing that Arnold had told members of staff last 2 weeks that he would bring in Mason Greenwood, but now they are dragging their feet because of the rebuttal on social media.
And there are a lot of corporate
They
entities that
have
are
done a
threatening
lot.
to actually
They
pull out.
have done a lot of consultation in the background. But you see, I still think that, irrespective of whatever has happened, this is a kid. Everybody deserves a second chance. I mean, people have said that, okay, initially the plan was that take him out on loan, let him be away from the eyes of the British media
these guys
for a while. But I think that what has happened, listen, I still think that give him a second chance.
Okay.
And I would love to see Mason Greenwood
love
because look, I look at Phil Foden. I look at
exactly.
I mean,
you saw what Foden did in that
yesterday.
Newcastle
I mean, listen. You look at Phil Foden. You look at Mason Greenwood. Those are generational talent.
Yeah.
It is sad. I honestly hope he learns his lessons. You understand? It is sad that he's had to go through this. Sadly, a lot of these British talents, Paul Gascoigne, in the past we've had people like David Ginola, in some of the other superstars who have not handled Percy talked about Cantona, who have not handled themselves very well as footballers. I genuinely hope Mason Greenwood has learned his lessons. Paul Gascoigne.
When he was in Italy.
The guy was a walking drunk. You understand? Was a walking drunk. So I hope he learns his lessons. Listen, if it were left to me alone, I think that Manchester United at this material time needs Mason Greenwood more than Greenwood does need Manchester United.
We will steal some few minutes because the comments and the views are going up and up. Kofi, too early to worry about United? Or we actually need to worry?
No, I don't think we need to worry.
Percy, okay.
We don't need to worry.
60 seconds.
Listen, City remains the benchmark. They are the only team, as far as my memory serves me, that have 6 points.
Yeah. No, actually, with
Brighton are playing some fantastic football. I can sit here and tell you that they will
not
be able to.
What I'm hearing is that, Pep's contract expire before Jurgen Klopp's contract expire. Pep, after his contract expire, he's not renewing. According to him, he's going into national team coaching. He wants time to relax. National team coaching gives you more time to relax. And I'm hearing that the guy they actually want to replace Pep Guardiola is Roberto De Zerbi. They've actually, Tiki Bergistan is actually monitoring him to see his trajectory and rise. Will he fit at City?
Well, I think that's another conversation for
next week. But should United be worried?
No, this is just 2 games. Last season it started like that. If you remember, the first 3 games were just hell. And when he got his signings and September, that's why I said most of the teams that lead in January, there is only one team that has led in January and won the league, and that is Chelsea.
Okay, so let me take some few comments here, guys. We appreciate the support today. It's been massive. The comments, the views, and everything. Ebenezer Tete says that United need Greenwood. NS says that the guy is more direct and has a sight for goal. Yes, Mr. Lucky, United needs Greenwood massively. We know Pochettino is a weak coach. He will be sacked. Me too, I'm watching. Chelsea lost 3-1. Sunday facts of the day. The last time Chelsea were in the half of the Premier League or table, Queen Elizabeth was alive. Chelsea under Todd Bowley have more signings than Premier League wins.
Actually 24 signings and won only 11 times. Yeah.
Chelsea love to set record. Steven Spionyaku says that a big club should never keep an abuser. That's the thing too. Isaac Edujemfi says that who doesn't need a second chance in life? United must take Greenwood back. Those who want to resign from the club, they should resign. They are hypocrites. So our poll had 18 votes. Thank you guys for sending in your vote. 66% says that obviously he's not worth that 115 British club record pounds. 33 says that he's actually worth it. So guys, it was fun on the show today. Our focus was on Manchester United. Time to press the panic button or not? My guys here believe that no, it's too early to press the panic button. But with what I've seen pre-season, last season, I think that United should be worried because I'm not seeing any progress under Ten Hag. But what do you think? Let the conversation continue on our page on YouTube, Sport 101. We're live on Tadi FM. Listen, we are not over yet, and we will be giving you more quality sports. Kofi Asede is here, Percy Bonnie is here. Next week, we'll be here live from 7 p.m. to give you the best of sport review. Kofi, any final words? I mean, this is our first show for the season.
Yeah, first show for the season. We hope to make it more exciting, much more better. I trust in the abilities of you guys, and let's just deliver.
Yeah, so please subscribe. We love you, and we'll see you again next week.